Welcome to Spirited Straight Talk, the ultimate podcast for anyone who is ready to live a life with intention and help from spirit. I am your host, Deb Shepard, spiritual teacher, medium, and author, helping you open up to the whole enchilada, or like we like to say, the soul enchilada, so you can truly make your soul rise. So let's go.
Hi everybody, welcome to Spirited Straight Talk, episode 13. We're going to talk a little bit about chakras today and balancing your heart chakra specifically. Stay till the end and Deb's going to do a little meditation on your heart chakra to help it open up and release.
Mm-hmm. So I'm Deb Shepard and I'm here with Dana. That's the other voice that you're hearing.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. And she is the woman behind all of this, making sure that it's all working well, and also my partner. And so if you haven't heard it on the other podcast, this is who it is. But today's topic is on chakras. It's one of my favorite kind of topics because if you haven't heard of it, it's really kind of all of our energy and how our energy works. And of course, that's all I talk about is how energy is and how we're all energy and how it's created and what can happen when we send that energy to the universe and what we get back. But when we go along our path, there's things that happen that are sometimes painful that can create an imbalance in our chakras. So if you haven't heard of the word before, this word or term or understanding has been around for thousands of years, and it's a Sanskrit word meaning will. And there's 7 of them that we're going to talk about today. When you dive in deeper, there are actually more. And each chakra has a different color, a different vibration. It spins differently, and it connects to different parts of the body. So it really helps if you're having some health issues or want to have a voice or open up your heart, any of those things. Trust is always the big one. People always want to work on the other ones. And that third chakra, which we'll talk about, is those ones that you really about trusting your gut again and bringing that back. Mm-hmm. And then you have kind of a great analogy how you see chakras as well.
Oh, I was, when we were talking about this, each chakra, I think of it as like a tiny little vortex within your body lined up with the area of each chakra. Mm-hmm. And of course there's from your spine all the way up through the top of your head. Mm-hmm.
And if you are still unfamiliar with this, when you see someone or a picture of someone doing yoga, especially when their legs are crossed, you will see the colors going from the spine all the way to the top of the head. And that's a great way to kind of imagine what chakras look like in our bodies. And I always say, we have the soul, but we have the body that carries us around this earth plane. And those chakras are vital in order to create a healthy life that we want. And whether it's, using your voice or trusting your gut or opening your heart or standing up for yourself, all these chakras are affecting the things that we do in our life. And I always like to teach simple, mm-hmm. Keep it simple, sweetie. Yeah. And the techniques that I give are very some of the basic things that you can do just so that you can kind of wrap your head around it. Yoga is a really big factor in this. If you're a person that loves yoga and already kind of embraces it or something you've been thinking about. Mm-hmm. I know we were doing yoga before COVID, yes. Which we could do at home again. So we probably need to balance some of that stuff out. Yeah. And people always ask the question, like, how do you know something's out of balance? And there are several ways to kind of look. And, I think it's a constant thing that we always have to rebalance our chakra and our energy centers. And for me, it's been a lot this last year about my root chakra was one of them. And so you and I have been swimming, and I've been doing the exercise pool and really trying to create my balance, which is that root chakra is the color red, and it's about our stability and how we feel strong in our power. Yeah. And for me, it was just my health that was really related to that versus.
And your root chakra has been affected for a while. Mm-hmm. You should tell the story about when we had our chakras read, because you were all enlightenment and floating up there.
Well, there's a machine. I'm not sure if I know the name of it. Dana may remember, but we went to a little tiny psychic fair. It was very tiny, and I like going just because I like to experience these things
Yeah,
and be on
yeah.
the other side. And one of these ladies there had a machine that you put your hand on, which I think we eventually want to try to get, and the computer can read your auras and how they're balanced.
Because it sends some sort of like electrical energy through you to read what your energy centers are doing.
Hmm. And then when I sat down, I wouldn't read my aura. We had a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Fail.
Which can be normal with me in electronics. But I said, "Do you have any rocks?" And I grabbed a handful of little rocks and put them in my left hand. And all of a sudden, the image came up. And the image was me very much with all this white, bright light. And was it like a million something kind of energy or something on a level
Yeah.
like that? And then, she printed it off, told me about it. It was really cool. And then a woman came after me, and my photograph, my aura just kept showing up. So she had to completely shut down the machine and start over. And then she was able to get her picture, her photograph. And then Dana came in and sat down. And of course, the machine worked perfectly. And what we noticed with our balance is I'm always kind of up there in the veil, and Dana had a lot of good grounding energy. And we always joke about I'm that balloon,
Yeah.
and she's got that tether, and she's always holding me here.
Well, your aura was just purple and white.
Purple and white.
That was it. You had no color in your aura other than
Kind of like my
purple
skin.
and white.
Very white.
And then my aura reading was like a rainbow.
Mhm.
I had all kinds of colors in it:
Mhm.
orange, red, green. Lots of different colors. Yellow, a lot of
Right.
yellow, I think. Which, you had like an energy level of 1.5 million, and mine was around 500,000. Which, to me, I think it spoke to that I was.
That's why I always say she's
grounding for the
behind the
day.
scene, because I would have none of this stuff would be accomplished, because she's able to, figure out how things can work so we can be more available to the public or make things work. So it was really kind of fun, and it was
Yeah.
enjoyable to kind of feel that's our energy. So for me, when I'm swimming or I'm really trying to work on my root chakra, it's that connection that I want to be on this earth plane and be able to experience life that way too. I tell
And
some.
chakras. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, some people want to know what chakras to start with. And I always recommend from the root all the way up. But if you know there's one certain area, like your heart's really closed, or you just don't trust anybody, those would be your third and fourth chakra, which we're going to talk about those. But sometimes we know certain areas of our life that we'd really like to have enhanced. And by working on that particular area can really help create the balance for you.
I was just going to say, chakras are really like centers that energy flows through our body to our higher self.
Mhm.
So it is a way, and you teach this in your classes, it's a way for people to balance themselves, to be able to feel spirit more, and to be able to feel energy and feel information versus, walking around in a fog.
Right.
That's being more aware.
Well, the root chakra it moves the slowest. It's the color red. And so I remember years ago when I was in my early 20s, I was going through a lot of transitions, and the color red I was just drawn to. And now it makes sense, but at the time I didn't understand what chakras were. And for a lot of people, it's just like if you've gone through a lot of changes in your life in the last couple of years, the root chakra feels like sometimes I don't know where I can just get that connection again to kind of connect with Mother Earth. And my joke is go hug a tree,
Yeah.
those hippies. But it's a way to really have that connection with the earth and to remember that. And if you have any injuries, like your knee is a problem or your feet are problems, that you keep tripping, those are kind of symptoms of knowing that your heart chakra, excuse me, not your heart, but your root chakra is not as imbalanced as it could be.
So some of the other things that we've talked about is not feeling secure,
Mm-hmm.
lacking energy, which, that I could see how that could be a problem if it's in your root chakra.
Right.
You're not grounded. You're not feeling secure.
Right. And through life, let's say people said said things to you, like you can't do that, or what were you thinking? All that judgment that comes can create an imbalance of our root chakra. That, to me, that's sort of the ego and the strength that we need to find to get through some really difficult times.
And this one's at the base of your spine.
Mm-hmm. That little tailbone, but it affects all your legs, your knees, anything below that.
Okay.
Our second chakra is the sacral, and that is the color orange. And, I find that this can be really imbalanced when there has been issues of sexual abuse, someone hasn't felt good about their sensuality, if it's been considered a no-no, any of those kind of things that can create issues with their sacral. It's also a place of our creativity is born.
Mm-hmm.
And when you feel like, I know that people that have had, and not in every case, I'm getting this a general kind of thing, that when people have fibromyalgia or people that have issues with pregnancy or hormone levels, this can be that second chakra.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we just don't give attention to that part of our body. We kind of ignore it. It's considered in a lot of faiths that it's, wrong to have sex or to be intimate, and it's considered dirty or things like that. So if there's something that doesn't feel healthy regarding that part of your body, the sacral is something to really look at. And
I was just going to say addictive behavior too.
Mm-hmm.
If you have issues with addiction, the sacral chakra is where it's believed that stems from.
And what's interesting is we just watched a documentary, and I think a lot of us are addicted to our technology, our phones.
Yeah.
And this program really showed how much we have to have that with us and how hard it is to leave it. And I'm not
social media. More specific. It would be like social media, like Facebook,
Instagram, all those things. Now, I'm not saying because you may have an addiction to your social media that you need to work on this chakra, but I definitely think that it's something to pay attention to, because that's something that we're all dealing with right now with that social media.
So listen to our podcast instead.
Yeah, absolutely. The third chakra, which I always think is so important, and that chakra is our gut feeling, our intuition. It's the color yellow, and it's the third chakra. And I find that
called the solar plexus.
The solar plexus. And this is one that I truly believe is an important one to work on if you're definitely trying to be more intuitive, you're working on connecting with your loved ones or spirit, because what will happen is we get this feeling and we don't trust it, and then we analyze it. And for me, I've had to really learn that what I get is what Spirit wants me to get, and it's not for me to change it. And that's where people sometimes will not do. They want to control an outcome, and really the universe knows much more than we do. And I think what happens with the solar plexus is we made choices or didn't make choices in the past, and we felt like we couldn't trust that individual. So we stopped trusting our gut, or we stopped trusting others. And what I always say that is your radar for you is, I call it the GPS, the guided psychic system. It's for you. It's not for other people. And a lot of times we give up our gut feeling, our trust. And I tell the story about the first time I got married. I was walking down the aisle thinking I shouldn't do this. Well, of course it didn't last. And I blamed my partner versus not listening to my gut. It took a while to rebuild that trust in me again, that, I thought that, but I didn't follow it. And I think, you and I know we use our gut for almost everything we do. Like, how do you feel about this? And we process it. So if you're really wanting to be more intuitive, trust the process of the universe, trust yourself, really work on the solar plexus again, which is the color yellow.
Self-esteem is really a big one with the solar plexus as well.
Well, it's that knowing.
Yeah.
For us, it's like when you are unknown and then you try to have other people tell you what to do, you're losing your own gut feeling, and then you begin to question that gut. In my opinion, it's, when you get a feeling, write it down. If you go to question it, come back to what you originally wrote and try to still follow that. And even when it comes out a little bit of a negative energy, sometimes we need to go on a certain path in a certain way. That's how I've told the story. This is how I got on to being a psychic is, I was taken on a different path, and I had to trust it, or I chose to trust it, and ended up here.
You realized you had all these crazy abilities.
And with you. I trusted with you.
That's true.
I went, out of that. I went out of my comfort zone, even though it felt very comfortable. The next one is the heart, and that's what I'm going to do a meditation on. people want to know, what's my purpose, what's my passion, and if they want a partner in their life or they want to do things that their heart is telling them. We have a tendency to kind of go logical with the heart. And if you've been hurt by somebody, we really protect that heart. And some people will not go and find another partner because they're afraid that they're going to be hurt again. But if your solar plexus is in alignment, your solar plexus is going to tell you. But a lot of us just kind of dismiss that. The heart chakra is one that really helps us find what we want to do in life. It helps us find that creativity, helps us find our soulmates, and living within your heart brings a lot of joy. And I think so many people forget about living the life of having joy.
Empathy is a big one with the heart chakra too.
Mm-hmm. Compassion,
love, compassion, yeah.
And for yourself. Yeah. I think a lot of people don't have the compassion, empathy for our own personal journeys as well.
I think probably a lot of people are dealing with their heart chakra right now, which is why you're going to do this quick heart chakra reset, is because we're all withdrawn and becoming a little more antisocial right now. So we're stuck in this place, and we're going to have to get ourselves out of that and trust eventually that we're going to be okay as soon as we're able to. I think a lot of people are going
feeling safe,
be scared. Yeah.
And the heart chakra, as well as the solar plexus, is all about feeling safe. So what I always say is create the design, the boundaries of what is safe for you. And taking a risk, which I believe helps change our lives, but make sure that you just feel safe and you can listen to your heart.
So what's one thing that somebody could do to help their chakra specifically?
Understand what unconditional love means, but also, loving things, whether it's your puppy or your cat or your children or grandchildren or the beauty of Mother Earth or music. What is it that really helps your heart sing? And, I can't sing and I can't really dance, but I'll do both in order to help my joy. But it's things that we enjoy doing. And doing that, and I think sometimes we feel guilty that we have all this list of things to do. You will actually get more things done when your heart has that joy.
The color of the heart chakra is green and pink.
Yes, you can use either color.
So using even emerald green, green jade.
Which I love the color jade.
Yeah.
And which is kind of the color of our new room here, our sound room, but also the color pink. So
holding it.
Your rose quartz. I mean, I love rose quartz. So you can have that next to your heart and your chest. You can't see Dana, but she has beautiful rose colored glasses on right now, and I have green ones on.
And you have malas for each too. You have malas that we wear, and your students wear, that help balance your chakras, and really just knowing that feeling of which one you need. But you do have,
and malas are considered prayer beads. They've been around for thousands of years as well, and they're used for intention. And every item in the world has energy, which has a vibration. And you all have experienced that in the sense that you walk into a room or you meet somebody or you eat something or you hear music that just inspires you. That's all energy. And then the heaviness of energy we don't like. So that's the contrast. But stones, the malas that we sell, the colors you wear, all of those are going to help you have the intention of creating shifts in your chakras.
You created the mala.
Yes.
And chose the stones specifically.
And the names.
For heart healing. Yes. Yeah. And then the moon is the planet for the heart as well. So the moon is all about emotion, right?
It's the feminine energy. And a lot of times we don't want to be emotional, but really feeling our heart and feeling life, that's our humans. Well, actually, that's our soul side. And we want to be able to bring those things in and really feel. Because if you're an empath like I am, that's how I feel energy and feel the spirit guides and your loved ones who have crossed over. So feeling these things, if you really want to open up your intuition, that's kind of a no-brainer is what I should say. But I don't want people to feel bad. But those are the things we need to work on, or you need to work on. The throat chakra is our fifth. That would be the color blue. And there's two things. One, are you using your voice, and also are you listening?
It's kind of a lighter blue.
Mm-hmm. And how many people have had like things with their thyroid or sore throats or have coughed a lot? All those things are going to affect the throat chakra as well as our ears, so hearing. If you want to be able to hear your guides or loved ones, you want to make sure that you take time to listen to when people talk. I know that we find that where people are waiting to share one more thing about themselves versus listening to both sides of the conversation.
Or asking a question.
Mm-hmm. And we've even have a class that we did talking sticks, where who's ever holding the stick has the right to talk and the other person cannot, interrupt. And the Native Americans made these talking sticks in their tribes to be able to take the stick and pass it around so everyone could be heard. This is a color that I feel like if you are worried about your value, if people are not listening to you, if you feel you're not really being heard, those kind of things, this is the chakra to work on.
Or you can't be authentic, speaking your truth too.
For some people, we won't say anything, or we're kind of like I always say, do the prostitute, where we are not who we are because we don't want judgment. And if you feel like you've been judged a lot in your life and not listened to, this is a chakra that would be very important to kind of work on.
Yeah, so another symptom of a blockage would be if you get chronic sore throats or if you get a lot of headaches or have dental issues, which I've had, and there was lots of years I couldn't speak my truth.
Right.
So that makes complete sense.
I'm working
I need to eat more blue food, like blueberries, blackberries.
How about blue licorice or
and
blue
it's
ice
also
cream?
Coconut water.
Coconut water
is one of the things you can do to address your throat chakra.
And if you believe in past lives, a lot of people that were spiritual witches, whatever, they were all hung, beheaded. So a lot of people bring those lifetimes to this lifetime as well, trying to be heard.
And we talk a lot about Mercury. Mercury is tied to your throat chakra. And Mercury, every time Mercury goes into retrograde, all the electronics get even worse in this household.
So Mercury in retrograde, if you're not familiar with astrology, is basically 4 times a year. It looks like Mercury goes backwards.
It has the appearance.
The appearance of it. It doesn't really, obviously, but it has the appearance which will cause havoc sometimes in parts of your life. Okay, third eye.
Indigo.
My third eye is obviously very active. That's why we have the chakra pictures.
You think?
It goes crazy. And this is where you have that little movie that goes on, or you see things, and a lot of people don't trust what they're visually getting, and that's where the third chakra really helps create that balance, because for me it's building another language where I'm able to download or see things to be able to explain or be shown from a loved one who has crossed over. Sometimes people just want to work on that chakra and the crown chakra, and that's fine. There's no right or wrong, but I would really want you to work on some of the other chakras before you kind of just go directly there. I mean, that's me, because if you are not balanced, if you don't feel like your root chakra or your throat or your third chakra is in alignment, this can I believe can create some issues of how do you process what you're getting. And when you're unfamiliar with how that works, like I can see things that are metaphors, and for somebody else that may think that it's very crazy or they have to worry. That's like dreams. People worry about, oh, I just saw someone die, and I'm like, well, it's an ending. It doesn't actually mean a death that we see it. And so it's learning to interpret those things and the metaphors that come with them.
So perception, intuition, wisdom, creativity, and inspiration all are tied to your
It's like when people all of a sudden get this idea and they can see it in their third eye. You see it in your mind. That
happens a lot with me, but
yes.
I don't talk to dead people.
You still know, though. It's your third eye to me can be science. It can be math. It can be technology, problem solving. So it doesn't have to be in the communication of spirit. But that third eye is giving you information. It's kind of like your muse telling you how to fix this or find the solution. Okay. We're going to the crown chakra.
That would be
On top of your head. So how many of you sometimes will feel that those goosebumps that go down your body, back your neck? That's your crown chakra. And that's when we took the photo. Mine was craziness white.
Mm-hmm.
And the crown chakra is white. It is the connection to the universe.
And purple.
And purple. Now
purple.
they kind of add the dark purple. But the color kind of, as it comes down the top of your head, you really want to use that energy to help balance all your chakras. You want the root chakra and the crown chakra to all plug in together. It's kind of like getting, when you put your strings of lights out for Christmas and you keep having those extension cords, think of it that way, that you're plugging them all in and that they're all working. And that way there's if one is disconnected, and as you know, there can be a light bulb, one gets disconnected, it's going to mess up your lights.
That's a great way to think about it.
Well, that's what they just gave me. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is. Oh, your guides just told you
that? They showed me that.
Jeez, that's
so cool.
Your guides are so good.
Cool. So it's connecting those, and if one of them is not connecting right, then it does create an imbalance of how do we move forward? How do we create the life we want? Those kind of things. And most people that are listening to this podcast, really want to have a balanced life. They want to open their heart. They want to be able to tune in more to their intuition. So this is sort of the wrap up on chakras. And
so you mean that because this is the last one? This is
that where we go to.
Yeah.
There are other chakras out there that I've never studied, but this is the ones I've studied.
These are the main chakras. Yeah,
the main ones. And you're going to be able to tell which chakras are kind of out of a line just by how you feel and how you experience life. But the other thing is, you can even just go take a shower, imagine those colors coming down your body. So they're, it can be very simplistic if you want, and then you can also work on it more. Of course, we have a chakra meditation on our website that has all the singing bowls. But I think what you want me to do is kind of do a heart meditation, right?
I think the people would love that. Also, just real quick about the crown chakra, like all the other chakras have foods that you can eat to help balance your chakra. Like the heart is lots of green foods and warm stuff like broth, but the crown chakra is fasting and detoxifying for you to, I guess, work on your crown chakra.
Well, I got to work on that one, huh?
I don't know if you need any more work on it. I mean, you could definitely do some work, but that's a little scary if you're floating in the veil any more than you are.
Yeah, right. So that gives you kind of a little appetizer about the energy of chakras. But, this is something that you're always going to be working on. It's sort of like your spiritual health, the balance of your health. So we have a body that we take care of, that we nurture and feed and sleep. And then there's the soul. And the soul is these chakras that are vital to what we want to create in this world and how we want to heal. So Dana's going to play one of my singing bowls. It's the heart chakra. Yeah. I'm going to do a little bit of a meditation. So hopefully if you're driving and you're listening to this, don't do the meditation while you're driving.
Don't close your eyes.
Don't close your eyes. All right. If you've never meditated before, don't make it a big deal. Just kind of relax and just be in the moment. That's the best thing I can tell anybody. Okay. You always want to take a few deep breaths. Inhaling and exhaling, feeling your body. Knowing that your body can hold on to stress, frustration, all the hurts that we have on our body. Squeezing your face, your eyes, your fingers and your toes. Taking those breaths to release any energy or tension in those parts of your body. Feeling comfortable in a chair or on the floor, making sure that the temperature is very comfortable and that there aren't any distractions. As you keep breathing, I want you to consider your heart chakra. I want you to, even if you want to put your hand on your heart and give it that love, the unconditional, non-judgmental feeling. Then when you feel your heart, if there's old pain, regrets, hurts, losses, and abandonment, take each of those stories and put them in a beautiful box. And send them away. Going back as far as you can, putting those stories, that history that no longer serves you. Watch the universe remove it from your heart. If there's more, continue to release. See the experience, knowing it's time not to hold that in your heart any longer. It's allowed to move on, make its way into the universe. You can have memories of it, but it doesn't hold a space in your heart. Begin to think of things that you love, a person, a place, a thing. Maybe it's the ocean or the mountains or the smile of a child. The unconditional love of your favorite pet. A hug that made you feel safe and protected. Music that helps you escape. And breathe. Allow that beautiful color of green and pink fill up your heart with love and blessings and the positive memories. Your heart is beginning to expand, feeling the love from the universe and those that love you, even those from beyond. Your heart wants to heal. It wants to release any pain or hurt. Sending that beautiful love out to those that you love, even if they've crossed over. Feeling the joy, feeling how sacred it does to be able to think of these beautiful things. You can feel this energy any time of the day, before you go to bed, when you wake up, to allow your heart to open from the gifts of the universe. Breathe again. Thank your heart for bringing in joy. Namaste. And that concludes our podcast on chakras. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Spirited Straight Talk. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe so that you get notified of new shows. We'd also love it if you'd leave us a review. And let's connect. Visit debshepard.com for more insights, support, workshops, and to book a session with Deb. Plus, enter to get a free reading with Deb. All you have to do is sign up for the email list and you'll automatically be entered. Just go to debshepard.com. That's DEBSHEPPARD.com.